as the days become hotter here in the UK, I have one thing on my mind, and that is setting up a smart thermostat ready for the winter months. This video has genuinely been about 6 months in the making, mainly because of the virus and I haven't been able to get the right people in to help me set this thing up. But now it's all set up, was it worth the wait? Let's find out, shall we? Hello everybody, my name is Robert and this is Review Clue. With all the different smart thermostats that are on the market right now, from the likes of Google and Nest, Hive and even others, it was really hard to make the right decision. And I genuinely didn't know what to go with. Thankfully, my energy supplier SSE had me covered. They sent me out one of the Nest Thermostat E's and one of the home hubs as well. This was part of one of the packages that I signed up for, so that decision was already made for me and I was basically ready to go. Let's start off by having a look at what's in the box and doing something that my mother told me always not to do, and that is judge something by the way it looks. In the box you get a few integral parts. The Heatlink E will replace your current thermostat, sending commands to your boiler. You'll also receive the wireless thermostat, and by wireless I mean it doesn't need a direct connection to the Heatlink or your boiler. This device can be placed basically anywhere in your house. You also get a plug, instructions, 2 wire ends to cut off any unused wires, and a backplate. Both devices look incredibly elegant, but let's start with the Heatlink. This is simple in design with one button on the centre of the device and this mesh around the outside to help it blend into any modern home decor. My only real issue is my previous thermostat that this is replacing was a little bit bigger and more square. So as you can see, I kind of have this hole around the outside. The backplate could have helped here, but the backplate really didn't give me much more of a surface area. If we'd have had something like they do in America with the Nest Thermostat E, which covers a lot more of the back wall, I'd have been a lot happier there. But we have to deal with it and we move forwards. The thermostat looks nice too. With its all-white design and the 24-bit colour LCD display seems to almost blend into the background. The dial feels smooth to use. I can't see myself touching the thermostat itself too much, just because the whole idea of this is you should be able to control it anywhere you are, through your mobile or through smart assistants. But when I do touch it, I feel like it's going to be a satisfying experience. The whole screen is a button too, which makes it easy to navigate the simple OS. But more on that later. Let's talk installation. Installation could have been a lot simpler. The whole reason this video has taken like 6 months to make is because I don't trust myself enough with electricity, and I wanted to get my dad in to help me out. And because of the whole virus thing, it took like 6 months before we were allowed to actually meet up again. So we both got together, we finally found the time, and we got to installing this thing. Connecting the thermostat and the Heatlink to the app is super duper simple. You just turn on the phone, set up your app, and then scan the QR code on both the thermostat and the Heatlink, and everything else is done for you. It's really quick and easy. But that's about where the easy part ended. When we actually started setting this thing up and putting it into the wall, we did have some troubles. The instructions provided in the app and the video were not particularly clear, and we had to spend quite a long time looking through all of our diagrams to properly work out which of the 2 wires we were actually meant to keep. So if you're not very tech savvy and you're not very electronic savvy, I would highly suggest getting an electrician in or one of the Nest Pro installers. They can do it for you. It's like 150 quid, I think, but it's better to have that peace of mind than to struggle and potentially get something wrong. This is electricity you're playing with here. So anyway, we set up the whole thing, we installed all of the wires, we turned on our power, and I turned the thermostat. And praise the gods, within a second I heard my boiler kick in. And it worked. It was actually a fairly simple process, it's just it took a long time for us to work out which of these wires we actually had to do. Once we knew which wires they were, the installation was as simple as screwing in 2 wires to the system. It was just finding those 2 wires that took a little longer than I may have liked. Okay, let's talk navigating the thermostat. It's so simple that even my grandma could do it, I think. Just turning the dial to your desired temperature and it's done. You can see the current temperature in the room with that little white dot and the desired temperature in orange. If you're in eco mode, you'll see a little green leaf there too. Clicking the dial in will show you a few different options. For example, turning off the heating, setting it to a temperature, or setting it to eco mode. There are also settings available here, including setting up schedules. Personally, I found setting up the schedules within the actual thermostat very, very impractical. You can do it here and it's nice to see, but I really feel like it's something you would not want to do and you'd want to set up in the mobile app, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Do you know what? Let's talk about the app now. The app is the primary way you'll be controlling this. Since the Google acquisition, I was kind of hoping that setup would be done through the Home app. Unfortunately, no such luck here. I genuinely can't wait for everything to just be unified in one place, rather than having to have the Nest app and the Home app installed. But anyway, after the setup, we can see the current temperature in the room. We can adjust it here and set eco, the same sorts of controls we have on the thermostat itself. The magic happens inside of the scheduling tab for us though, where we can actually set desired temperatures for different times of the day quickly and easily. I love how simple it is to actually do this. Dragging one of the dots up and down simply sets the temperature, while dragging left and right changes the time. It couldn't be more simple and intuitive if I tried, and I genuinely love this. I do, however, wish we could set different schedules for different times of the year, because right now you can only set one schedule and it uses that schedule year round. Sometimes in the summer it's going to be too hot and you're not going to want it full blast all the time, so you'll have to spend a little bit of time at each season manually adjusting each of those levels. But with this being a learning thermostat, you hopefully shouldn't need to do that too much. Let's talk about some of those smart features that it has. It actually learns from your habits. For example, it will take into account the time of the day, when you're in and when you're away, the temperatures that you like to set it at. It also takes in outside factors, such as weather and even the humidity. I genuinely believe that a 6-month review is probably going to be needed here, because all of these smart features will change over time, and I would like to see just how well this learns my habits and how I like the heating in the house, because sometimes in the winter I do like to have it on, but I don't like to have it on full blast all the time. I like to have it on a tiny bit in the morning and a tiny bit in the evening. So let's talk about my first impressions with this device. I genuinely feel like this is going to be a super useful device for me to use. I can't wait to get this fully integrated into my smart home. Because let's be honest, in those winter months, it is bitterly cold, and the last thing I like to do is come home to a cold house. So what I can do is when I get on that train and start traveling home, I can remotely set this thermostat to warm up the house. So as soon as I walk in through the door, I'm in a warm, toasty flat. I do think that there were a few design corners cut here. In particular with the thermostat, I don't like the way that I can't actually wrap the wire around the base. I would have liked somewhere to hide some of that excess wire, because right now it looks like a little bit of a mess in my kitchen unless I properly cable manage this thing myself. Anyway guys, let me know what you think about the Nest Thermostat E. Is it something that you're interested in, or have you got a different supplier in mind? For example, the Hive heating? Let me know in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification icon, share this with your friends and family so they know whether the Nest Thermostat E is something that might interest them. Anyway guys, my name's been Robert, this has been Review Clue, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.